J-Mill for Real presents the X's and O's podcast featuring your co-host J-Mill and the little
I,
fucker,
I'm
the
yeah,
guy
I'm
who's
the
got
guy whose
you.
team. I'm the guy whose team is in the playoffs.
Oh, okay, the guy whose team is in the playoffs. There we go. So,
Um,
you know what? There's 14, there's 13 other fan base that can say that also. So I guess that's not too big at this point.
right, but you're
Those
not
of us,
one of them.
and those of us who are in the 18 that aren't in it, some of us like me and our friend Ray are just kind of used to it at this point in time. So, so you really didn't take a shot at us there. You you know who you did take a shot at? You took a shot at Green Bay Packers fans. Oh, we don't know one of those anymore. Uh, uh,
Wow, taking a
Tennessee
shot at.
Tennessee Titans fans. Okay, yeah, we'll take a shot at them. Las Vegas Raiders fans. There, see,
Oh, I
they
got.
had high hopes.
Yeah. Did you speaking of Raiders? Did you see Devontae Adams? They agreed to allow him to be one of the key principal players in the quarterback search?
That's very nice. I mean,
Yes.
he goes to play with his college buddy. He gives up. You know,
Yeah, they agreed to on the four people committee to figure out who the new quarterback is. Devontae Adams is one of the four with a 25% vote.
that's pretty awesome. I mean,
And I was
they
like,
kind of have to do it though. Like he gave up he gave up going to the playoffs this year to play with his to play with his college quarterback buddy, and now his college quarterback buddy isn't going to be playing anymore. And I get it, the
right.
Packers are not a playoff team, but if Devontae Adams was a Packer this year, the Packers find a way to win an extra game.
If Devontae Adams is a Packer, the Packers could possibly be the one seed.
Yeah, so it's
Because a lot of those early losses, like the Giants, the Lions, like those losses, they came off the back of they didn't have anybody to throw the football to because Aaron Rodgers didn't have that Watson repertoire yet. I mean,
yep,
let's just start with the biggest news. The news that you and I will be talking about for another 6 months.
yep.
At the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers was asked for his jersey and a jersey swap, and he said, "I can't. I need this one."
Mm.
And then afterwards, before the game, he locked arms with Randall Cobb, and the two of them cried. And afterwards, they made sure it was him and Randall Cobb walking out of Green Bay together. Is Aaron Rodgers done?
Yeah, and I know we'll be talking about this for the next 6 months. Um, so I'm just simply going to say that let's we got the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Chargers, and the Raiders today. You get what I'm saying, right? The
Hmm.
Chargers and the Jaguars. Why did I say Raiders? Wow. But it is. I mean, I'm sure that Aaron Rodgers is going to keep us in the dark for as long as possible. It might not mean that he's done. It might mean he's done with Green Bay, for real this time. But
Hmm.
it wouldn't shock us if he retired. It also wouldn't shock us if he retired and then a month later came back, right?
He is currently dating the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks' daughter.
Okay.
So if he continues to, I'm going to use that and say if he continues to play, I believe he stays in Milwaukee,
Yeah, that makes a
or
lot of sense.
because he wants to stay near his current girlfriend, who's very pretty
Yeah,
and 24 years old. I'm kind of getting sick of all these NFL quarterbacks though, like Brady, Rodgers, all these guys doing it. Guys,
yeah,
go find girls your own age and stop trying to just take the supermodels, and then wonder why your relationships don't work out long term.
yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
But yeah,
kind of icky.
so I do apologize. I'm missing the last podcast. I got hung up at work, and that did not, you know, sometimes there are things you can't avoid, and unfortunately, work is one of those. So
Did you like the co-host for that day though?
I did. I'm afraid that I'm going to be replaced by the cute and adorableness of that co-host.
I mean, but
So
you're not going to be picking the Miami Dolphins to win though, so you might be staying with it. Oh
I
no,
mean,
I love her to death, but that pick was kind of like, oh, you're just gonna pick the team that I said can't win at all in the Super Bowl. Got it.
that was clearly a I'm going to pick against my daddy pick.
Yes, it was. But she picked the whole NFC bracket the same, except for like one game. And I'm starting to think she's going to be right about that one game. So,
So I
uh,
might be getting replaced.
I mean, if she beats me head to head, I might be getting replaced, right?
She might be a better host. So maybe we should be careful.
Oh yeah, no. So we'll just pretend that I don't know. Yeah, we'll just pretend that we're good at this for now, and until it's proven otherwise.
Yeah, so let's get started.
All right, so we kick off today at 4 p.m. and you know what? Let's get a weather report before we start talking about this game. So
58 degrees, 12-mile-an-hour winds, and possibly rainy.
and possibly rain. So this isn't going to be the monsoon that it could have been talked about all week. Then
Right. Not from what I just saw, anyway.
okay, yeah, all right. So with that being the case, okay, you guys have to understand something. If we are recording right now, and it is one uh 4 or 5, almost 5.5 hours before kickoff. So a little more than 5.5 hours before
Yep.
kickoff. Weather can change during that time. Earlier this week, this Seattle San Francisco was forecasted to have monsoon like qualities to it, similar to the way that the 49ers played the Bears earlier this season. And we all know that the Bears beat the 49ers. I wouldn't be placing what you're going to play on this game until like you know until you're in that 15-minute countdown before the game, just so you can look at the weather, just so you can look at the reports, and just so you can know what's going on, because it's a very different game. And honestly, I'm avoiding it altogether if if it does look like it's going to be incredibly heavy rain the whole time, because the narrative can drastically change on that game period, unless you want it to like play a CMC rushing total. But even then, weird stuff happens when you're playing in that rain and that mud. So, anything to say about that before we dive into it and pretend like it's actually going to get played? Well,
No, I'm not gonna be a non-brave person. I'm gonna give you all my picks that I'm actually gonna play, and just say, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna throw a disclaimer out there. If I lose, you if you pick with me, you lose too, and we
okay,
can we can be sad together.
okay. So you could do it that way too. So let's just jump in. I have a tendency to play a little more cautiously when it comes to stuff like that. So
I
yeah.
don't.
So yeah, what
I'm
do you like?
reckless.
So what do you like about this game?
I mean, I'm gonna just say, first of all, I don't like the fact that Seattle's here, and I'm happy that the NFL is looking into officiating changes for future games, because that officiating was bad, and I think the Rams could have won, should have won. Lions should be playing this game instead. And
And it
if the
would be a better
Lions,
game. It would be a better game if the Lions were playing it.
yeah, so here's some things I'm picking up. First of all, I'm going over. It actually, as I'm doing this, guys, just so everybody knows, I am placing the wager as I'm telling you what I'm playing.
Wow. He is a
So
much braver man than I.
So I'm going with the over 42.5. I'm going with Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown score. I'm going with a Kenneth Walker the second anytime touchdown score. Then Brock Purdy over 213 because he hasn't thrown under it yet.
Oh
And
wow.
then I'm also going to go over here and just seeing it for the first time. Oh, George Kittle over 43.5 for receiving yards. And that is the wager on this game.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on the George Kittle. Like, it's
Oh,
become pretty
and
apparent
I'm
that yeah.
I'm also throwing in as a capper in case you guys care. I'm putting Brentford to win their 12 o'clock soccer game in with that same game parlay just to raise my stakes up.
Okay. George Kittle has clearly revitalized his like is it fair for me to say that Brock Purdy has kind of revitalized George Kittle's career?
Oh yeah, absolutely it is. And Brock Purdy is a Purdy looking quarterback. I hate when
Yeah,
people do that.
Purdy
But
looking quarterback.
Brock is man, tell me if he's not looking a little Brady-ish. Comes in when because of injuries, late round, nobody's ever expecting anything from him. Then he's
Okay,
could just consistently good. I'm not saying
okay,
he's going to be Brady level, but I'm thinking Brock Purdy could be the San Francisco starter next year.
all right. I'm just gonna come in and say this right now. There's a lot of things that there aren't alike about a lot of these playoff teams. There's because I know we were talking about the Giants yesterday and how there are reflections of their championship teams
Hmm.
until you until you until we see guys like Purdy, Jones, Hurts, Lawrence play their first playoff game. Let's just not go too crazy yet, right?
All right, I'm
Let,
just
let,
saying.
let's not put a ring on their finger until they play
No,
their first playoff game.
I didn't put the ring on the finger. I just said I think
Oh
Brock
no, I'm
Purdy
not
could be
referring to you. I'm referring to
okay.
other people I know. There are people that that spoke to an Eagles fan last night while driving people around. Not 2 nights ago while driving people around, and it's like, yeah, no, Eagles are far away the best team in the league, and there's no way they don't win it all. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, we have teams who won a Super Bowl in these playoffs with their quarterbacks. We have teams that you get what I'm saying. That we have teams with so much
Hmm.
more experience. It's like to think that let's make sure that Jalen Hurts isn't Dak Prescott in the playoffs before we get started, right? Like,
Right. Yeah,
um,
and I mean, ultimately, here's what I'm just going to say though. This is where I come at it from this game. And I know we're talking next year stuff, but I'm sorry, but I know you want to talk playoffs. But when you're in this stage of the season, you do look at next year a little bit. I think Brock Purdy has done enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I agree. I agree with that statement. So, I do agree with that statement. Even if well, I mean, I think there's definitely questions if he goes out and he's the reason why they lose this game.
Hmm.
Uh, but I also don't think Shanahan allows his quarterbacks to lose games for him.
I
Does that
also
make
don't think
sense?
I don't think there's a snowball's chance in HE double hockey sticks that Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers aren't moving on.
Unless that monsoon happens, because if that monsoon happens, then it's the ultimate equalizer. And I 100% agree with you as far as that statement goes. I'm a step further than you. If this game is getting played under semi-normal conditions, then that 9.5 is so easy to lay, as far as I'm
Hmm.
concerned. And because this isn't a 49ers team of the previous couple of years where they could dominate the game and just win by 7. The 49ers are this team has looked very, like, if you don't think this team has looked different over the course of the last 10ish games or so, then you haven't watched this team during that period. CMC has made all the difference, which is why uh, playing playing the CMC total overs. Here, pulling this up real quick. And why can't I? We got we got something. All right. Rushing and receiving yards. CMC over. Do I have a combination number? Okay, I'm just going to go CMC over 36 and a half receiving. Screw it. I'll go with him over the 76 and a half rushing. And I will also go with George Kittle over that. You said it was 44 and a half receiving.
Yeah,
So as far as
41 and a half.
41 and a half. As far as I'm concerned, you take the overs on Purdy, CMC, and Kittle, lay the 9.5, and you got yourself a nice, quiet little parlay. It
Mm.
would be, um, I don't know who's, Javarius Ward is probably going to be locked up with DK Metcalf. DK is probably still going to catch some passes or whatnot, but the number itself is something where, personally, excuse me, personally, I'm going to be, staying away from because I could picture it being 60 yards exact and DK Metcalf's at 61 and a half. Like, this is one of those things where I would throw DK into, offset it a little if like it was like around a 55. You get what I'm saying, right?
Hmm.
And if you want to throw a Seahawk into the mix, there's definitely um the Tyler Lockett number is one that I think is potentially obtainable. So at 61.5. But personally, I'm not going to be throwing any Seahawk into this because I think this is just a blowout. Right. All right.
Okay.
Yes to the love.
Chocolate bar.
I will get you a chocolate bar after this podcast. All right. Moving right along, we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of our 3 Coach of the Year candidates. It's going to be playing in this first round. The
Brennan
other
Stanley, right?
what?
Brennan Stanley, right?
I'm talking about the guy who took his team from the first pick overall to a division clinch. So, and really kind of, let's talk about the Doug Peterson difference with Trevor Lawrence, right?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback of the future of the Jaguars, and it's probably because of Doug Peterson. And that's all I'm going to say about it for now, because honestly, I think the Jaguars have to go on a little bit of run. I really think that actually I don't know is assuming the ball doesn't win a Super Bowl or at least go to a title game. Who right now is closer to winning that Coach of the Year?
I still think
Peterson.
Dan Campbell. I still think Dan Campbell has an outside shot here, and I don't want to discard him.
I also think Zach Taylor has an outside shot because he went on that huge win streak without Jamar Chase. So I'm not trying to, but I like there's something about the I don't know. I get the feeling that the Jaguars or the Giants will make a significant run in this playoffs, and one of the two of them will claim Coach of the Year as a result of it. But I'm not going to argue against someone if they say they believe in Dan Campbell or Zach Taylor.
Mm.
But enough of that. Jaguars plus 2.5. Honestly, I'm taking the money. I'm taking the money line.
Okay.
I'm not. I believe that Doug Peterson is a winner when it comes to the playoffs. I believe that Brandon Staley is a fraud, and I 100% acknowledge that the Chargers have more talent on paper. But Mike Williams is not going to be playing this game because Brandon Staley is what Brandon Staley is. And hopefully this is the last game that we have to talk about him. And Sean Payton's the coach of this team in 2023.
Peyton as the coach here would be dangerous. I think Brendan Stanley, if they lose this game, he's fired because obviously the Mike Williams injury hurts. And a game where you require nothing and you didn't have to play, to go out there and let one of your better players get hurt in a pointless game is ridiculous, and you don't deserve to have an NFL coaching job after that.
Yeah. This Chargers run defense is still as bad as it's been over the course of the last 2 seasons. Give me Travis Etienne over 76.5. Give me Jermichael Hasty over 11.5. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure that Trevor Lawrence is going to have to pass enough in this game to pass the 244.5. So therefore, I'm going to leave that number alone, and I'm going to take and I'm going to throw a receiver into the mix because I think there's definitely some bring back on the side of the Chargers at this point in time with this game. So I feel comfortable going with either if you wanted to throw in either the Zay Jones over 50.5, or you wanted to throw in the where is it, the Evan Engram over 41.5, or you wanted to throw in the Christian Kirk over 57.5. I'd feel comfortable saying that go with your gut as far as that goes. The one I'm throwing in is going to be the Gerald not the Gerald Everett. Wow, why did I say Gerald Everett? The Evan Engram over 41.5 is the one I'm throwing into my parlay. As far as the going the other direction, I Austin Eckler at 38.5 is a very low number, in my opinion. We saw what he did all season, what Herbert did all season long. When he didn't have the 2-star wide receivers, he's down one of the wide receivers already. I don't think there's any reason why Austin Eckler doesn't go over his number. And I also think that with Mike Williams down, there is a good chance that Gerald Everett goes over his 31.5.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I am loading up my wager. So, yeah, it's easier for me to track my show picks, and I don't know why I didn't start doing this earlier in the year. If I just put like a short little $1 wager on it, it's a lot better for me. Um, so yeah, here's what I did for this game. I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling. I'm almost there because I have way too many future wagers at this point. Uh, I have
We have a lot of those.
yeah, I've got 32 of them total now, and a lot of them revolve around baseball and the NBA. But here we go. So I went with the over of 47.5. I went with an Austin Eckler anytime touchdown score. Trevor Lawrence over 245, Justin Herbert over 279, because I think Herbert's going to have to throw the football here. I don't think Lawrence is going to let him off the hook for long enough.
I'm just a little concerned that the Jaguars pass rush might put up 5 to 6 sacks.
I think they can put up 5 or 6 sacks, and Herbert can still throw for that.
Okay.
Then I have Keenan Allen getting 81.5 because somebody's got to catch the ball when Justin Herbert's throwing it. I could see this being the type of game where Keenan Allen gets 10 for 85. They're not huge plays, but they're just enough. And then I threw in another wager here that I normally don't do. I went with both quarterbacks having over 1.5 touchdowns.
This is a
Because
good game.
neither team has that goal line powerhouse running back.
No, they
You're so no, I think they're both going to end up throwing the football in goal to go
You're not a
situations.
little concerned by the fact that Justin Herbert's had an obscenely low touchdown total this year?
1.5 it's a playoff game. And we've already seen that Brandon Stanley is just an idiot. So they're not going to take field goals when they should because the moment's going to be too big for him.
uh, Fair enough.
Because
I
he's
would also like
dumb.
to add that playing a Josh Allen sack in this game definitely feels very right as far as I'm concerned. So it'll be a part of a little bit of an IDP parlay for me.
No, J-Mo. You're forgetting. Josh Allen plays in the next game.
No. Josh Allen plays in both games, and both of these Josh Allens are superstars in their own right.
I just thought it was fun for me.
But moving right along, Miami at Buffalo. Let's lay 13.5 at Buffalo. Let's go with the Bills going over the 43.5. And honestly, just pick Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and like 2 other Bills, and you're set. That's all. Simple.
When you're saying over 43, the Bills going over 43.5, you mean just the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this game because this is this is the worst game of the weekend.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's no two. Like honestly, I'm not sure I'd give the Dolphins a chance if Tua was here. Like the Bills are like they're not just the best team in the playoffs. They're the team of destiny also. Like
mm,
they're both. Like how do you argue against that? Like there's no way they don't like honestly this feels like a Bills Patriots from last year sort of deal.
right. This just feels bad. Um, this one feels like one I wish the NFL wouldn't have. I wish the NFL would have found a way to make. I don't know how help the Jets.
Yeah,
Um,
no. Well, the Jets couldn't help themselves in that game, to be fair. But not saying that it would be that much better if this was the Pittsburgh Steelers here at this point in time. But
mhm.
I think we would think the Steelers are going to score a couple of times and maybe stop the Bills from scoring a couple of times.
Maybe make it entertaining.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So
do
what I'm doing.
what they do in the first quarter, what dominates a half a quarter, and then the Bills just go off after that.
Yeah. So what I'm taking here with this game is the over 43.5. Then I did put in the Bills minus the 9.5. I just think that's low. I went Josh Allen over 260.5.
Well, I
Skylar
mean,
Thompson.
it's 13.5 now.
Is it? So
Yeah.
I must. Oh no, I must have taken like I don't remember when I did this. I did it early in the week. I probably adjusted the line down to make it under 2 scores or to make it under a touchdown field goal.
Okay. I mean, I'm not afraid of the 13 and a half.
And then yeah, so Josh Allen over the 260.5. Skylar Thompson, I went under 190. Then Josh Allen over 50.5 rushing yards. Stephon Diggs over 75.5 receiving.
And Greg Russo goes into my sack parlay.
Hmm. Yeah,
I,
this game has just no redeeming value for me. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because it's a 1 o'clock game. But I'll be honest, there's also a Premier League game on at the exact same time. I'm probably gonna bounce between the Premier League and the football game.
and also a Buffalo defense special team anytime score because it just feels like it's going to be like
Hmm.
playing the over on Skylar Thompson's interception total too.
Yeah, I don't like this, and that Buffalo defense is still playing inspired football.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the panic button if I'm Miami. That being said, for most of my other wagers that are future type wagers, excuse me, a Miami win here is beneficial for my potential payouts because
Well,
I have a lot of those. I have the Cincinnati Bengals as repeat AFC champions. So
and if Cincinnati wins and Buffalo wins, that means Cincy now has to win in Buffalo and in Kansas City in order to make the Super Bowl. It's easier to
mhm,
cut one of them out before that.
yep,
Though the Jaguars could always take care of that for the Bengals.
they could,
They could,
they
right?
definitely could, they could, and the Chargers could beat anybody on any given day
Oh
with their
yeah, the
offense.
Chargers lost to the Chiefs twice. If the Chargers find a way to lose a third time to the Chiefs by just a field goal, that would be hilarious. But but they only lost by a field goal in the first two meetings. So
And
uh,
Brandon Stanley's an idiot. So at the end, I just wanted to throw that out there for a game that he's not even in.
yep.
Um, let's talk that 4:30. Let's talk that 4:30 Sunday game. The
Let's
one that
talk about it.
the
This is
the
the only like the only real game of this week of football. To be completely honest,
this I mean I do think that we're gonna get a shock. So I just want people to be aware that we're saying that. Also, don't discount the Chargers game, man. That's gonna be a good game. Um,
okay. I mean, I think the
but
Jaguars are going to blow out the Chargers, but
this is also the NFL. I don't think we're going to get, we're not going to get all the favorites here. One of the big favorites is going to drop in an embarrassing game.
after the podcast. Well, I mean, right now, like in theory, the Jaguars aren't the favorites. In theory, the Buccaneers, who we'll cover later, are not the favorites. So honestly, I'm going three favorites, three dogs in this first round. So, and when I say I'm going with three dogs, I'm clearly not picking the Ravens over the Bengals. So, yeah, give me the Giants plus three. To be completely honest in this one, I
Mhm.
think that Minnesota's been like some people say Minnesota's just really good at winning close games. Um, I don't think they're a 13 and 4. I don't think they're a real 13 and 4 team. I think Minnesota's
Yeah.
lucky winning close games. Like just going back to that Bills game from like they had to hit a 61-yard field goal as time expired to beat the Giants. They had to
Hmm.
get a fumble on his own goal line from Josh Allen in order to beat the Buffalo Bills. Like this isn't about a team being good in the tight game. This is about a team having a lot of luck and luck that is feels like it should backfire at some point in time. Now, maybe that backfire is the NFC title game, and they go through this game, but really when it comes down to it, their offensive line is banged up. Oh, and the Giants have a really great defensive line. Give me the third member of my sack parlay being Kayvon Thibodeau with an anytime sack,
Mm.
and that's where I'm closing it out. So yeah, for those following my sack parlay is is Josh Allen, Greg Rousseau, and Kayvon Thibodeau this week. Um, and honestly, give me the Giants over on their sack total for the game. I think it's at 4.5 right now. And then, on top of it, and it's very easy to picture Daniel Jones going over his rushing total. Let's pull that up really quick. It's very easy to picture Saquon Barkley going over his rushing total. And
So yeah, oh yeah. Saquon is at 73.5, and Daniel Jones is at 38.5.
yeah, so give me the over on both of those. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also pretty clear that even though I think the Vikings are going to lose, the Giants don't really haven't had a solution for TJ Hawkinson the last few times they faced him, and I don't think that's going to change. And like we just bet on Justin Jefferson unless he's facing Jair Alexander. Not saying that they're going, not saying that it's going to be, a. Uh, I think the Giants are going to win this in a good enough fashion to where they're up late and then they pull away by another score. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm still going with Jefferson over 92.5, and I'm still going with Hawkinson over 49.5. That's what I'm playing on this game. And
Okay.
what's Danny Dimes passing total? Um, yeah,
It is 240.
uh, I got 243 here. I'm a little concerned that the Giants will be so efficient at running the football that he won't have to throw that much. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going to stick off of it.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, so I went Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown score, obvious reasons. Um, then I went the New York Giants money line because I like the extra juice in that.
Oh
I
yeah,
went
no, I,
Danny,
I I'll be doing money there over the spread.
yeah, I went Danny Dimes over 240.5. I also went Danny Dimes over 38.5. Saquon Barkley over 73.5. Then I took Daniel Jones throwing over 1.5 touchdowns. That's actually plus money. And Kirk Cousins throwing over 1.5 touchdowns. Because let's be honest, even if you think the Giants are going to win this game, you don't think the Giants win this game holding them to under 14.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's part of me just thinks we potentially get like I know I said the Giants pull away,
Hmm.
but I'm thinking it's at a point where like the Giants are up 31-28, and then they tack on a touchdown onto that. But I could easily see this being a 31-28, a 34-31 sort of game. I don't know. Could also
Yeah, I
easily
mean,
see it being a 24-21 where though they catch a lot of passes, they just get held out of the end zone.
hmm
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. This is the one where you would agree that this is the one that is the must watch out of all of them.
Oh
I'll include
yeah.
Jaguars Chargers too. I think Jaguars Chargers is a much watch, but I think Jaguars Chargers falls at a more difficult time to be a must watch. The
hmm
Saturday night game over here as opposed to the Sunday evening game. But yeah, um, all right, moving right along, we have the Baltimore
Yeah,
Ravens.
let's move on to a game that doesn't deserve to be a playoff game.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's not going to play, so Cincinnati, like honestly, it feels like a little bit of disrespect to that Cincinnati's only favored by 8.5.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Well, no, hold on. You're blowing right past this, and I'm not going to let you blow past it. I'm going to make you give an opinion.
okay.
Lamar Jackson is a coward and is not loyal to his fan base. He doesn't care about the people of Baltimore. He doesn't care about his teammates, and he doesn't deserve to be an NFL leader. Thoughts? He could play. They've said he can play. He was told, "You are able to play this football game." And he said, "No, my knee doesn't feel right." He can play. It's a playoff game, and he's choosing not to play in it.
See, I didn't know that he definitely could play. Like,
He's the one that made the decision and said, The knee is still too unstable for me to run on. Okay, then stand in the pocket and throw the football. Because
Yeah,
Tyler Huntley isn't the same player as you are.
yeah.
I'm just
You know what? You want to take your shots at Lamar Jackson? Go ahead and take your shots. And honestly, even if you're going with the theory that he knows his body and he probably can't play, um, at a certain point in time, it's kind of like, well, the best ability is availability.
mhm.
Like, so, he's getting really hard to defend, and as someone who defended him a lot at the beginning, in this offseason, who thought that he was going to have a big year and that he was finally going to get his health situations right, and who had him right in the preseason conversation for MVP, and it was looking good after what 1 week, 2 weeks
Yep.
the season, because he was just playing lights out on another level. Um, I'm done defending. I'm done defending Lamar Jackson.
Lamar has played himself right out of his big money contract that he's hoping to get, that he's convinced he's going to get. I personally think Lamar has just proven to teams why you don't pay him.
I mean, and the other thing too is he's not even the best at what he does anymore.
Right.
Say hello to my friends Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts. So
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts is a much better passer than Lamar Jackson. Justin Fields is actually a better runner than Lamar Jackson. Um, so yeah, I, I I've got nothing to say beyond that. So I think it's very easy to lay it with the Bengals. I think it's very easy to play overs on Burrow, Chase. I 100% get that this Baltimore Ravens defense, since Roquan Smith, has turned it on that much more. But I don't. It's unless you truly have. I'm not going against the. I'm just going to say this. I think Joe Burrow has arrived as a big time quarterback, and I don't go against a big time quarterback and his favorite target in the playoffs.
Mm.
No, not yet, Autumn. So we're still running along. We're to the second to last game, little love. So yeah, give me the Jamar Chase over. Where are we at? Uh, Receiving yards. Why? Oh yeah, Jamar Chase over 76.5. Give me give me the Joe Burrow over 269.5. And my touchdown is going to come from this game also. Give me a Joe Burrow anytime rushing touchdown.
Nice.
I'm actually feeling it in this game, and I'm not even sure why. As far as you could easily pick another Bengal, but this is not one of my feature games because honestly, the Ravens are so hard to watch when Lamar's
Hmm.
not playing. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it. There's a good chance that if this game's on the full time, there's also gonna be a Switch with a Pokemon game in it in my hand while it's on. So, um, and yeah, okay. So, what do you got on this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep mine quick. I got the over of 40.5 because I think that's just low. It's stupid low. We just watched this game last week, and these two teams hate each other, and now it's Tyler Huntley. So I think we're gonna get a good hard mouth football game. But I think 40 is too low because I just couldn't you see it going 28-14?
I could
You
also
know?
see it. I could also see it going 28-3, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but either way, I'm giving the Bengals their 28, so that means I only need 14 I only need 12.5 out of Baltimore.
I mean, you might not get it though.
Yeah, but I also might get 35 out of or 42 out of Cincinnati.
I have a little too much respect for Roquan Smith for that.
He only plays one out of the 11 spots.
Okay, okay. The Ravens defense is good enough though without him. I don't know. Yeah,
And
I respect the
we
pick.
in week 17 we were about to see Joe Burrow throw for 400 plus yards before the unfortunate Damar Hamlin situation.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow has found his groove, and once he finds his groove, it's all over for you. So yeah, I'm going over 40.5. My touchdown scores: Joe Mixon. I mean, this one was easy for me. Joe Burrow over 266. I think he hits that by the end of the third quarter. Then I went Tyler Huntley over 31.5 rushing yards because Tyler Huntley's also shown that he could do that once by accident. He could break off a 35-yard run by accident there.
Yep.
Then I went Jamar Chase over 76.5. And because I believe this game is going to hit massive blowout status pretty early, I'm taking
Yeah.
Joe Mixon over. I'm taking Joe Mixon over 56.5 because they're just going to run the ball and be able to get
Ravens
away
run
with it.
defense just a little too good for me to play anything Mixon, but I get it, the whole blowout status, but that could also easily be Samaje Perine too, right?
It could, and his rushing total was his rushing total was only 30, and his receiving total was only 12. And I was like,
I,
man, I almost want to double tap a Piron here.
well, we'll do it as a separate parlay. Throw a
Yeah, all
touchdown in
right,
there.
yeah. As a seven parlay, I'll take the Piron touchdown, the Piron over 12.5 receiving, and the Piron over 30.
Yeah, I
I
might
like
do
it. You
it
talked
too.
me into it.
I might do it too.
Now
So
this is probably now it's for the Monday night. Um, just a short little quip here. Why are we doing Monday night football playoff games? Now a team is on short rest. Does that make sense to you? To me, it's like, wow, we have a team
yeah,
on short rest now in the
yeah,
playoffs.
it makes no sense to put the oldest player, the oldest player in the league on short rest. Makes no sense to do it whatsoever.
And I understand the whole ESPN's paying you a lot of money for it thing, but do the right thing for the fans. I also have to stop complaining for a second and reach down and grab a phone charger.
Oh,
um, Apparently, it escapes me to charge my phone while I sleep. Um,
well, then you get an overcharge because it always finishes charging like halfway through the night. So it's better not to charge it when you're asleep.
so yeah, I'm not quite sure what the point of a Monday Night Football game is here, other than to say, "Hey, look, you guys get a Monday Night Manning cast for the playoffs." And I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna
And
be
you get
excited
Tom
about it."
Brady in it.
But they're also forgetting, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is a day that is owned by the NBA. Not racist, actually. The NBA starts at 12 o'clock and will go all the way till 2 a.m. Um, so you're battling up against the NBA's like they treat it to the same level they treat their Christmas Day games. They're giving us good games all day long, and you're going to give me a Monday Night Football game? Get over yourself, NFL man. Like I'm going to watch it and I'm going to be fine with it, but why are you doing this?
Well, because the exact reason that you just said, you're going to watch it and you're going to be fine with it.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm frustrated here,
Like
and
I'm going to
also
watch it and I'm going to be fine with it. Like
you're giving me the game I care least about. Um,
because this game can only go one of two ways. Either either it goes the way of the talent or it goes the way of the experience.
right.
And it's not going to be close. If someone wants to argue for the Cowboys, like as somebody who said that Dak was going to, in the preseason, I said that this is the year that Dak figures it out in the playoffs,
Mhm.
and I was quietly holding on to that. But after watching that Washington Commanders embarrassment last week, I realized that that's what they are.
Yeah,
That
they're not. It's not that they just fold out. It's that's what that team is ingrained to do, is just to collapse at the end.
yeah. So, and then you have a guy who finds a way to win games that, honestly, it's a guy who knows nothing but winning versus a guy who doesn't know how to win.
Right. Yep.
Um, And now, if we bring the head coaches into it, you could argue that Todd Bowles is a significant downgrade on Bruce Arians because
Mhm.
it just flat out is that way. Like honestly,
Right.
Todd Bowles found a way to screw up Brady for half a season. So, but with that said, it's McCarthy is another guy who won once and just hasn't done much more than rack up win totals and lose key games since then. So really, when this comes down to it, I don't know how this game plays out, but give me the Bucks on the money line.
Yep. Yep.
This game could be offensive. It probably is going to be defensive. Um, for me, there's not a. For me, I'm just gonna tag them onto my. I'm just gonna tag them into my the team itself into my parlay.
Yeah, so I only got two picks here for this one because I'm not quite sure how it does go. I'm taking the Ezekiel Elliott anytime touchdown
No,
and
well,
Tampa.
yes, they force that. It feels like
Yep,
they just force an Ezekiel Elliott touchdown every game, even if it's 4 attempts from the 1 yard line.
yep, and I'm going to also take the Tampa Bay money line because Tom Brady.
Yep, there's really no other reason. It's literally because of Tom Brady.
Yeah, if you've bet Tom Brady, if you bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, you are substantially negative at this point. So I've just stopped doing it. He's older than dirt, and the guy should probably have hung it up a little bit ago. But it's Tom Brady in the playoffs, so I'm not touching it.
I mean, they might not be substantially negative. Like if they put more down on like Titans defense to score and to
No, if you just
Titans
if
money
you've
line
just
that
got
later.
if you've just gone straight up betting against or for Brady, you are substantially ahead if you bet on Brady versus against him. So I just am gonna avoid this, avoid anything that's not Tom Brady.
Yeah,
But I
he's
also don't
earned
feel
the right.
comfortable. I also don't feel comfortable betting on either quarterback to go over. I don't feel comfortable going with any of the receivers or running backs. So I you could realistically see this game going, 13-10, couldn't you? And if that's the case, everybody loses. But you could also see this game was shooting past the 45 pretty quickly.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna avoid it and say I'll enjoy watching whoever the Manning cast puts on for playoffs because I'm sure it's gonna be good.
Yeah. News. Just spoiler alert. Tom Brady's going to be their second guest on the show. He's going to be both playing and on the Manning cast at the same exact time.
Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, I mean, no, Brady's not omniscient. Like it might appear that
Oh,
way to some people, but
well, no, I wasn't sure because with MLB
I'm
they
the
did that a
president.
lot. MLB has been doing that a lot this last 2 years, where they mic up players while they're playing. And like obviously when Brady's on offense, they wouldn't have the mic hot. But then when Tampa Bay's on defense, they would talk to him then. Because MLB has been doing that a lot, and it actually it has added to the fan experience of hey Bryce, you just struck out there. What were you looking for? And having to be like, I
I,
sucked.
I'm not sure America wants to hear what Tom Brady's saying after a 3 and out in which none of his receivers were open and his line couldn't protect him.
So I made a mistake today. This is a random story for you. I made a mistake. I was watching Tom Brady videos with somebody at work before a meeting,
Yeah.
and we were just going through like anything that was hashtag Tom Brady on Instagram and clicking random videos. Man, some of those videos are real not work appropriate. Tom Brady has a very foul mouth.
Yeah, and a very bad attitude when on him. I'm almost done. I'm in the wrap up stage right now.
So yeah, well, speaking of wrapping up, let's wrap this up. I want to go get a spicy yellowtail tuna roll or salmon roll.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, so as far as the picks go, rather than it just kind of makes sense that there are 6 games. We normally pick 5 anyway.
Mhm.
Let's just pick all 6. Um,
Yeah.
and honestly, we said what we were picking during the course of the show. So, but we'll be nice and we'll wrap it up for you here. So, I'll be taking the San Francisco 49ers laying. You get
What?
yeah.
Let's do
I'll
it game by game. So rather
all right.
than you go all 6 of your picks, let's go game by game.
All right. So, yeah. I'll be taking the San Francisco 49ers minus 9.5.
I will be taking the over of 42.5.
Okay. I will be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars on the money line.
I will be taking the over of 47.5.
I will be taking Buffalo Bills. I will be bumping it up to 20.5, and I will be playing the Bills there.
I was going to be the guy that took the Bills by and bumped up the money, the line, but
You can
since
go
I
for it.
don't,
You can
nah,
go for it.
I don't want to. I don't want to be the same as you. Give me the Bills team total of over 28.5.
All right. Uh, give me the Giants. I'll take the plus 2.5.
I'm taking the Giants money line, and y'all can get out of here because the Giants are winning this game.
Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. I will not be bumping that up. I'll put I'll only lay the 8.5.
Like I said, I want the over 40.5, and I really believe in it. I think this is going to be a very high scoring playoff game or playoff weekend.
And then give me Tom Brady. I bumped up 2 games for you, so I'm just going to take the Bucks on the money line here.
Yep, I like the Bucks money line because Tom Brady is getting 2.5 points, which means the money line's at plus 120. So I get plus money, and I'm good with that.
My anytime touchdown scorers for this week are going to be the Joe Burrow touchdown run and the Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, I was going to take one of those, but I'm not going to any longer.
Take it. Oh, fine. I'll give
Nope,
you the
nope.
Zeke. I'll give you the
No,
Zeke.
no, no, no. You take Zeke because I got another one that I also really like.
Okay.
Um, Give me the Kenneth
No, no,
Walker
no.
the second.
I'll leave the Zeke, and I'll throw the Jefferson in there.
No, I need you to take the Zeke so I can take the other two, and now one of us is still
Oh,
taking Zeke because now I want
okay,
the other
fine. I'll
ones.
I'll take the Zeke then. I'll take the Zeke.
You know what? You take Jefferson too. We'll each take three.
Okay, we'll take 3. Sounds good.
So go ahead and recap for the good people what your three were.
My 3 are the Joe Burrow, the Justin Jefferson, and Ezekiel Elliott.
I want Kenneth Walker the second. I want Saquon Barkley. And then for good measure, because I love John Miller, give me the Austin Eckler and give me the hopes that Brandon Stanley wins this game and we get to keep talking about him for a week.
Oh no.
I didn't
uh,
say it because I don't want to I know you have gone and invested on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I do like the Chargers for this game.
okay. Well, yeah, give me the Brandon Stilly to get fired after this game. As far as some individual player props, give me my big one, my IDP one. I'm going to be doing the 3 set. No, you know what? Screw it. Give me the. I am playing that 3 sack parlay that I said I was playing before, but I'm not going to make it
Mhm.
part of the official show picks. Give me the. Um, Give me the Buffalo Bills anytime defensive or special teams touchdown
Okay.
for my IDP pick. But I am
So
still
yeah.
going to be playing. I am going to still be playing the Rousseau, Allen, Thibodeau sack trio.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do an IDP pick because you want me to.
Awesome.
Give me the San Francisco 49ers. They got this guy on their team called Bosa. He's a game wrecker.
Yeah, that was kind of easy.
Hold on, wait, I'm not done. Give me the Bosa fumble if you can find it. If you cannot find Bosa forcing a fumble, go ahead and give me whatever his sack total over is.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know on websites that maybe aren't legal, you can bet on Joey Bosa to force a sack or fumble. I'm not sure if you can find a forced fumble sack on one of the legal options in your states.
All right. As far as player props, give me a Saquon Barkley over his 76.5. Give me a Joe Burrow over his 260 some, whatever it is. And give me a Josh Allen over whatever his ridiculous number is.
Okay. Um, for my player pick, I would like for the Daniel Jones over 45. I would like the Tyler Huntley over 31 for rushing. And then the George Kittle over 44.5
I
receiving.
love the I love me the George Kittle one. I'm just gonna be completely honest. It's
All right,
just
so that's what we got.
there's a lot of easy ones. There's a lot of easy ones to pick this week. So
So yeah, before we wrap up, I'm gonna just steal your wrap up.
okay.
Just like Carlos Correa to the San Francisco Giants and New York Mets, we're out of here. Now
Oh,
you can go ahead and wrap up. I
we
just
have to
want.
thank everyone though.
Well, I know we had to wrap up, but I wanted to steal that joke before
Oh,
you know.
okay, okay, fair enough. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the JMO for Real experience, the X's and O Nos podcast. We hope that you enjoy it as we are now 3 shows back. And by the way, I haven't mentioned this yet, but we are recording show number 100, our next
Jeez.
show. Yeah, we're recording show number 100, our next show. How awesome is
That's
that?
crazy. That is
Yeah,
crazy, and I've probably been a part of a good amount of those. So
yeah.
I should go back and count how many of these shows I've been a part of. But
Now this doesn't include the 2 live specials that we did. In theory, our last show. In theory, the autumn show was show 100 if I included 2 live shows, but the 2 live shows weren't officially part of the podcast. They were just live shows. But yeah, this
okay,
is
so
show one. This next show is show 100 for the podcast. So thank you guys for helping us get to that point. Really appreciate it. Like, follow, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. But yeah, thank you all for getting us to this point where we're about to do our 100th show, going into the divisional round of the playoffs, talking about you know, talking about potentially Cincinnati Buffalo, right? Like,
mm,
and many other great things that could happen. We could get Eagles Giants. We could get Brady versus the 49ers. We could get some really yeah. If you just follow through what we're potentially getting, there's a lot of great games that we can potentially get next week. So yeah, we get Chargers Chiefs like. But yeah, so it's a good week to be doing that, and thank you all for being a part of the experience. I really appreciate it, and it is very humbling. And remember when you are when you are playing these games, to be responsible, to gamble responsibly. Don't do more than you have, and set your limits. Track your
mm.
bets, and stick to the plan that you have going into it. Don't chase bad money with good money and make things worse. So, but yeah, no, thank you for being a part of this. We truly are grateful, and yeah, no, yeah. Uh, Once again, I appreciate each and every single one of you that have been tuning in. So,
And yeah,
okay,
stay purdy, listeners, stay purdy.
yes, stay